I forgot I have to record this. Okay. So the first thing, getting a listing, we talk to the client. And when we have a system, then we say, okay, this is what I say when I talk to my clients about listing their house. This is what I say no matter what. If they're my family, if they're my friends, if I don't know them, if I met them at an open house, if I met them geofarming, if it's an expired or for sale by owner, I always do this. And once you treat everybody you know with the same professional way, it's just becomes second nature and you don't think about it. I think iPhone is Pina. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So I sent you all a lot of documents, and I'm even going to give you more documents. And then I don't want you to be afraid to ask me for them again if you need them. All right. Two. So here we go. And once you realize this is a system, like I said, you're going to do the same thing every time. So you want to get it into your mind what you plan to do and write down your plan for every time. So a lot of you did open houses this past week. I know because I helped a lot of you. And I've helped like 4 people write offers. I have not helped anyone do a CMA this week.
Oh, I
So,
did one. I want you to look at mine.
okay, that's good.
Not
So
now.
what I have to say, what I'm impressed with, uh, uh, Yashti said in the beginning, she made an appointment. She pushed herself. They're going on vacation, and she got in there before they left. So when that you are talking about it, you strike while the iron's hot, and you make that appointment. Appointments are what we live for. Getting in front of people face to face. If not that, you can do Zoom, but I love appointments. Okay, so you want to like schedule them in your calendar and also have 2 spots every week open for like a 2-hour appointment. Okay, so in addition to showing houses and all the other things, create 2 time frames to make appointment, to attend an appointment, so that when you have an opportunity, you know exactly how you're going to fit them in. Okay. Spreadsheets. So you guys are doing your circle of influence and you're categorizing them A and B, figuring out your time management, time blocking to go with your goals. We are doing 2 social media posts a week, making sure we have at least 5 conversations, and we've set up an open house. So a lot of you did open houses this past week. Congratulations. Those that haven't, keep looking for opportunities. And now we're going to begin what today is all about. So,
Before we begin, what is time blocking?
so time blocking, have you ever seen my Google Calendar?
No.
Okay, I'll show it to you. So- all right, so here's my Google over here. Are all the tools in Google. Here's my calendar, and there are all my appointments. So if I want to make an appointment, all right, okay, I'll say 3, between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock,
Baby,
listing appointment.
¿ya saliste?
Ya,
Puedes ir donde tu mamá a ayudarle a encontrar
Okay,
el documento ese, please, antes que se vaya al
Got their
trabajo.
speaker on.
hang on.
Dice, tiene que estar en su correo.
So now I brought it up here and I can say, okay, this repeats weekly on, is this Friday? On Friday, I'm going to do a buyer appointment. Okay. Or a listing appointment. And then I save it and now it's there every week.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm time blocking. So what's nice about this too, the default is 10 minutes before it reminds you that you have an appointment. And if you want, you can invite people and then they get a reminder too. Right? So that's time blocking. You know, to be successful, we have to make time to do the things our goals require, the activities that our goals require. Okay? So today's session is domination by having it down. Every time I go get a listing, this is what I do. Then what I won't be hesitant to find that listing, make the appointment and go on it. Because every time I do it, I have the same uh, system. So it starts with I'm going to dominate this. I am going to become the top listing agent in this town. And I'm going to do it by making sure I know everything that I need to know better than anyone else. Because what's the difference between me and the top agent, really? It's only the words we say and the things we do. That's the only difference. So if I can learn new words, I'm going to learn them. And that's what today's all about. Oops, sorry. Okay, so crush the competition with a secret weapon. And that secret weapon is you. Nobody wants this as much as you do. Okay? Because you want it, you're going to make sure that you have the market knowledge to dominate conversations. Okay? You can stand behind the company standing. We are the number one Century 21 in Connecticut. We are in the top 20 in the country. We're also the number one Century 21 on the Florida Panhandle. So we dominate already. Our company dominates. You're part of that. Your excitement about the market, about wanting to go on appointments, wanting to help them. You know, one thing I love about this group when I'm talking to you, you don't hesitate to do things. And it is refreshing. So your excitement is a huge deal. Even if you don't have it signed and you're showing a house, which we don't like to happen, but at least it shows me that you are going to go get this thing, whatever it is. Okay? You want to dominate. So that is huge. Now we're going to talk about our 18-point plan of action, our 18-point aggressive marketing plan of action. We don't just want to sell the house. We have a plan, we're aggressive, and we are going to direct market their house to in all kinds of ways. In addition to the marketing, our ability to deal with questions, objections, and getting past the first no when the conversation starts. Oh, I'm just calling. I noticed your home came off the market. I'm curious if you were to sell your home, where would you go next? Oh, we're not going to sell. Oh, I could either say, okay, thank you, hang up. Or I could say, a lot of people feel that way. It is a big decision. What made you start thinking about it to begin with? Or a lot of people feel that way. I can appreciate your frustration. Was the problem that you couldn't find a house or you couldn't sell your house? Probably was you couldn't find a house. Am I right? Yes. Well, the market's changed a little bit. There might be something on the market I'd love to, if you tell me what you want to see, why don't we go look at a few things and see if there's anything out there that might interest you? So getting past that first no and asking more questions. You want to have like lists of questions to ask. and then mindset. So your mindset is how you dominate. You believe you will, you believe you can, you believe that the plan works. You have faith in the plan. So your mindset says, if I do these activities every day, I am going to take over the world. And you know what? I listen to you guys, and there are people that I'm looking at right now that have that mindset. So it's only a matter of time. Okay, so mindset, ready to go. We're going to take over the world. And let's look at the next thing. If I can move this out of my way. Okay. So when we're thinking of the plan, the listing presentation, let's paint the picture. You have a lead. They want to sell. You pre-qualify them using the pre-qualification script. You set the time and make sure all the owners are there. So we set the time for the appointment. You dress like a pro and you fill out all your paperwork ahead of time. And you do an amazing CMA, get whatever help you need, have statistics, have it all organized, ready to go. You have it in your portfolio. I have another one at home that has a big Century 21 on it. So you want to have something that you can bring with you that keeps you organized. Okay, you pull up, your car is clean, you feel great, you're at your best. You get there 5 minutes early, park on the front of the road so you can see the house because you're early. What are you doing? You're getting your mindset ready for going in the house. So, how do we do that? You tell yourself they know and respect you. They respect you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be invited. Okay? They want to know what you have to say. Does anybody ever feel like I don't want to tell them what I have to say because maybe they'll think it's stupid? Maybe they know more than I do, right? So that is not true. That is a lie that you're one of the many selves that we have is telling us. They want to hear what we have to say, or they wouldn't have invited us over, and they do respect us. So that because of that, when you have the conversation you're going to have, they're going to list with you because you are a great listing agent. They're going to sign the contract. You've got this. You picture this while you're in the car and you're looking up the walk to the front door. This is going to happen. Then you get out of the car and you have that in your mind. This is what's happening. You walk up the steps and you get invited in. Okay, so how do we get here? We made an appointment. Before we made the appointment, we pre-qualified the client with a pre-qualification script. And there are a few of them, and I included this in the email. So I'm just going to pull it out right now. Okay, I think it's here. Okay, that is not it. Hang on. I have all kinds of things. All right, it's not that. I must not have opened it. Okay, let me pull it up. Hang on. I just had it. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna have to find it. Oh, good, Judy's here. Okay, I'm going to my Mike Ferry groups thing. Okay, and I'm going to put this in. I think I'm pretty sure I sent this to you guys. So this is, there's a few of these. This is Greg Harrelson's version of Mike Ferry's pre-qualifying the appointment. So when I made the appointment, no matter what our conversation was, we had this pre-qualifying conversation on the phone. And you want to, like, if you can, look at everything on here. So once they say, yeah, sure, Yashti, you can come over, then you can say, okay, that sounds perfect. So Thursday at 5, I'll be there. Before I come, do you have a minute? I'd like to ask you a few questions just to prepare me for our appointment. Okay. Oh, so where did you say you were moving? Oh, Alaska. Okay, that sounds great. What's taking you there? We want to learn how to ride polar bears. Okay, great. Do you have a specific time frame that you'd like to have your house sold in? Yeah, we're thinking 6 weeks. So as you're doing this, they are answering your questions. Okay, hang on. Judy can't get in and stay in. And these questions are designed to have a flow, and you ask one, then another, then another, then another. So I'm just going to go through them. What would that, okay, do you have a specific time that you want to sell your home in? Can you guys see this? Is it too
Yes.
little?
Yes.
Yes, it's good.
Okay. Would that pose a problem for you if I sold your home quickly? No. If you end up not selling your home, do you have a backup plan? Like if I live in Florida, that might be a question I would ask. Or they could be where they owe more than their house will sell for you. A lot of reasons. No, I don't. 6, do you have other agent interviews set up, or am I the last one? Oh, just you, Jody. Great. Uh, just curious, what price are you hoping to get for your home? We're thinking 550. Great. Is there a bottom line price that you need to get in order for this move to make sense? 500. Okay. And how much of a mortgage do you owe? We owe 400. And any interest, do you have any interest in helping with owner financing if it helps get your house sold? No, we want to do that. Okay. Have you ever thought about selling it yourself? No. We did think about it, but we realized we just don't have we can't. We both work full time. Good. That's my job. Tell me a little bit about your home. Have you done any recent updates? Now, number 12 is a really good question to ask because you're going to be giving them a CMA and signing the contract in one appointment. Some people go preview the house first and then they do the CMA. But I would rather just make one trip and they probably would too. So this will help me. Yeah, we have a new furnace, we redid the kitchen, so I can, when I'm looking at the comparables, have similar ones. Okay, number 13. How would you rate your home on a scale of 1 to 10? Where would your home fall? How did you rate 14? Is is your home ready to show? Or is there anything else you're planning to do before we start showing it to buyers? 15, I'll be emailing you over a package of information. Will you take a moment to look at everything before we meet? So, and that's a CMA we're going to do together tonight that you can email to them. 16, I've only spoken to you. Other than you and your spouse, are there any other decision makers involved here? You know, when you get to be older, sometimes kids are involved. Are there any concerns that your spouse might have that we need to discuss before I arrive? Yashti, if what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your home, are you planning to list your home with me when I come out? Great. The only thing we need to do next is just copy a spare key for the showing. Is that okay? Any other questions? Great. Looking forward to meeting you. So that's it. I'm pre-qualifying them. Then when I go out and actually sit with them, I'll ask some of the same questions again because usually it's two people and I'm only talking to one of them. So that would be the pre-qualification. Any questions on that? Okay. So once I do that, now I come to the, so how do you feel about the pre-qualification? Do you feel like I'm afraid or that's a good idea?
Good idea to have that.
Yeah,
I think it leads to other questions too.
yes. And it makes you look professional because you're not afraid to ask questions that will help you come up with a good price. And you have a rhythm, you're just methodical, one at a time. All right. So the next step is the listing presentation and the CMA presentation script. Okay. So you want to create your system, your presentation, so it's a repeatable process, like we said before. So step one, be prepared. Drive by the house, take a picture, prepare an excellent market evaluation. Pick 3 similar closed properties and 2 active or under deposit, or maybe 3. Have myself or a manager look over your CMA if you have any questions at all. There's people that are top agents. I look, and when I am pricing something, I always have somebody look too. So there's no problem with that. Once you come up with the comparables, then you email the marketing team at this email, c21jobrequest@gmail.com, and tell them you want them to do a CMA for you. Here are the MLS numbers of my comparables, and my price range is going to be 550 to 600,000. Then if you want to do a net sheet, you can also say, please add a net sheet. They owe 400,000 and you know, whatever the taxes, transfer fees are, and attorney's fees and things like that. Okay, which I can help you with that too. Okay, so the listing presentation has 4 components. The first one is when you are walking up to the house in the foyer. So like I said, you drive up, you park in front of the house, everything looks good, you look good, everything's organized, you bring your portfolio in along with your phone, whatever else you have that you need, and go in the front door and knock. Once you get to the foyer, you always say the same thing. Then you let them tour you through the house, and you always say the same thing. Then you let them guide you, or you guide them to the kitchen table where we do the listing presentation, we show them the marketing, and then we show them the CMA, and then we close. So those are the 4 components. And it just so happens that Century 21, 21 Online, if you go into the university and you type in listing presentation in the search bar, once you're all the way into the university, Kevin Mills, who was the #1 listing agent in the country, has himself videoing these 4 components of the listing presentation. So you can actually see a top agent say exactly what he would say. And also, he has good objection handlers too. Okay, so let's begin the foyer. I walk up to the front door and I would always say something like this, and you create your own script. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for inviting me over. I'm really excited to see your home, take a look, and help you get it sold. And then they invite you in, you have some conversation, and then you tour the house. So when we're touring the house, we ask for forgiveness. So let me show you what I mean. That's what they call, Greg Harrelson calls it this, ask for forgiveness. So we start taking notes on our clipboard as we're walking around to make sure we don't miss anything. And as you are walking around, on the second or third room, say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize for taking notes while we are walking around. I should have asked if you were okay if I took some notes." Basically, what I'm writing down are the benefits and features that I'm seeing in your home. So when we start marketing it to prospective purchasers, I want to make sure I include all the points to get you a higher price. That sounds good, right?
Mhm.
So and that's the main thing. When you're going through, you don't want it to take forever, but do take note of the closets, of your personality type that you have with you. For example, if I have a driver, he's going to want to get right to the point. We're going to go through, I'm going to take the notes, we're going to sit down and go through the everything. If I have somebody that is um, am, more of a, well, so you guys are familiar with the different personality styles. So if you have someone that's more social, then they're going to have be very proud of their decorating and things like that. And you want to make sure you compliment them. I love the color coding of your closet. I've never seen anything quite this good. And then they'll tell you, or it's amazing what you did in the bathroom. Where did you ever find those colors? I don't think I've ever seen them like this. Find something that's special, honest, that you can compliment them on. If you have somebody that is amiable, then, I'm sure you're going to find the right person that's going to love your house like you have loved your house. So, they want to make sure everybody's happy. So I'm trying to say it without saying the word family, but, this is the perfect house for just about any type of person that would want to live here that's cozy. You feel safe and comfortable. Have you ever said that at a house? I've actually said that. This house makes me feel safe. This house is cozy. This, whatever you are feeling, a lot of times that's what makes people buy the houses. Okay. I think we get the point. So after the tour, we go to the kitchen table. So at the kitchen table, we want to make sure we talk about the marketing before we talk about the price. I can get you more with my marketing plan. Build value before you talk about the price. Then the price is not the price. The price is the pricing strategy that we have to decide which strategy do we want to start with. Okay, so it's not the price. Oh, your house is worth this. It's the strategy. So you let them decide what strategy you want to use. So we'll talk about that in a sec. And then marketing, my 18-point marketing point action, my 18-point plan of action, rather, and information that makes you passionate, social, brand recognition, respect, websites, real-time lead capture, technology, geofencing, marketing, best practices. All of those things are how we get them more money. So the price is a strategy. So I'm just going to stop for a minute. And I want open dialogue on the strategy. So what I know a lot of you have taken some good CMA classes. Tell me about the strategy. Great. I'm going to stop sharing for a sec. Okay. Strategies for pricing. Anyone want to share? Lorinda, you just got a listing. You have a strategy. What's your strategy?
Ooh, it's tough. Because I'm still having a hard time. It's not going into coming soon until Wednesday. Um, the strategy, I look at everything that's sold. I look at comparable beaches in the same town. I don't know if that's what you're looking for,
Yeah.
Joey. Uh, same type of houses. However, I had an actual appraiser done from an appraisal for a house. This was like last year, and he actually used a cape when the house that was being appraised was a ranch. So I'm looking at capes now a little bit differently because I think that they do use them, but then they do adjustments for certain things, garages. The fact that one house has 2 bedrooms upstairs and has no ground floor bedrooms, that's why it's been reduced. One house is outside of the beach community that I'm in, and it's just not getting sold and it's down to like 550. Mine is in the beach community. What's the value of that?
Right. Right. So the strategy, you said it in the very beginning, coming soon. That's a strategy.
Mhm.
So the pricing strategy is how can we get you the most money? Well, there's 3 ways we can do this. We can start right at asking price, and hopefully we'll get it. Maybe we'll get a few people to start bidding. We can start under asking price. What good would that do?
It could have people bid above.
Yeah,
So
you
you'll
could end
get
up with a
higher.
bidding war. So
Yeah.
people can go up to a certain price. So I'll go up to 500,000. So I'll do 450 to 500. And so if I put this house at 495, I'll get more people looking at it than if I put it at 505. Okay, so people go up to a certain price and you'll get more people looking at it. Now, a lot of people will say, I'm going to look 500 to 600. So they're not going to look at anything under 500. So you have to think about the ways we can strategize. With a CMA, different brackets have different prices. So, for example, houses between 1 million and 2 million are going to have a different price per square footage than houses between 550 and 1 million, and houses between 300 and 500 all will have different pricing structures. So they call that bracketing. So you can, put when you're doing a CMA, you can bracket the average price, 3 different brackets in a town to look at average price, average days on market, average price per square footage. If you're in a beach community, you kind of have to throw all that out, and it's how close are you to the water. So, with the beach community, it's more about how many people can park in my driveway
Mhm.
and can stay in this house. Are you agreeing
Yes.
Jody,
with
what
me?
would be the other strategy? Would it be above the asking price? That would
Yeah,
not be a good
so
idea.
it's either below, right at, or above. And sometimes people want to get the most money possible and they don't want to listen to us and they want to start high. And, if I'm in a market where things are selling, then I don't mind if they start high. The statistics show they're going to end up getting less. And I'll just show you. I'm going to share really quick. I have a good uh, presentation for that I did share. Okay. Can you see the kitchen table here?
Yeah.
All right, now I'll show you. Okay, the pricing pyramid. So I love this because, hold on. Okay, so isn't this nice? The pricing pyramid, ideal list price, market price. 60%
Where's the pricing
of,
pyramid?
We're at the kitchen table
I don't
still.
see the pyramid.
oh, hold on. Stop sharing. Oops. How did that happen? Okay, share. Two. Okay. You see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you might want to ask the um, marketing team if you, believe I sent this to everybody. If you ask the marketing team, they can put it in your listing presentation. Make it smaller so you can see. So it shows you if you put it at market price, 60% of potential buyers will look because they have price brackets that they go up to and won't go above. So 10% above market value, you only get about 30% of the potential buyers. If you're at market price, you get 60. If you're 10% below, you get 75%. 15% below, you get 90%. Okay. Does that make sense to you? So the main thing is you just want to have a pricing strategy and then the information to back it up. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we're just really quiet.
Okay. So when you are meeting with people, the reason we say it's not the price, it's a pricing strategy is because we don't want to lose to another agent because we said the wrong thing. We know what the price is, and a lot of agents out there will tell them a higher price and then not really back it up. But they can make it sound good. And, people get greedy and they're like, well, why don't we go with them? They believe they can sell it for more money. And if we believe that it's worth more, then we probably can sell it. And you know what? There's a truth to that. So we have to be careful when we're telling them the price that we're not kind of, you have to sort of, it's an art, right? All right. So we'll talk about that when we do the CMA. Okay, so the kitchen table, go over our marketing, and then we go into our marketing plan of action, and then we go into the CMA and the pricing strategy. And that is the close. So once we've done all that, now based on the marketing, we know we're going to get as many qualified buyers in here as possible to get you the most money possible. Here's our strategy. Start right at the market value. So this is strategy number one. And this property is just like yours 5 months ago, and it sold for whatever it sold for. We know we can get more because today prices have gone up a little bit. So these, just an idea of pricing strategies. You want to practice that before you go there. And I'm going to show you where you can watch a video of someone doing this. Okay? So once you tell them the three strategies that we just discussed, then you say, based on our conversation, where do you think you want to start? And they're going to go back and forth, and what's really fun is we're in the close. So, and this, my entire career, I can think of like a couple handfuls of times when the close was hard. When somebody's really closing, you're really closing them, it's like you can hear dust fall. There's a quietness. You put it to them and they just kind of like look at you and you don't know what they're thinking. And what you want to do is say, well, we could go higher. You know what I mean? You want to say something so you don't lose it, but you have to be strong and not say anything and let the silence be the pressure because they're testing you. And then, where do you want to start? They're going to look, they might not tell you right away because they have to internalize what you just said. And then they'll come up with a price. And then you write it in the contract, turn it around and say, okay, all you need to do is sign here. Let's get this going so I can help you get what you want in the time you want. Wouldn't that be great? And let's just sign the contract. So that's where they sign the contract. And they aren't going to just sign the contract. You have to tell them to sign the contract. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
All right. So that's a listing presentation. Let me go back to where I was. Okay. So when I'm going to now go into do a CMA just to share with you. And I did this back in February, so I already have it. Let me just hit escape. And I'm going to tell you that the best thing you can do is practice this. So this morning's group decided they wanted to present this to their peers. And we are going to do that next week. We're not going to do a class. We're going to do listing presentations. Whoever wants to. You don't have to. But if you want to take the time to step up and say, I'd like to show you my presentation, you can either come in the beginning in the session at noon and do it then, or we can, as a group, decide, well, we want to do it too, and do it ourselves in the evening. Up to you. And if we end up with more time, we'll watch Kevin Mills' videos to show examples. Okay, so I'm going to share with you a couple things. The first thing is I'm sharing with you 21 online. Okay, here we go. I want to show you the videos. I'm going to show you where to find them. All right, so here we are in 21 online. I go menu, upper right-hand corner. And then we go to Learning Hub and visit the university. So they've changed the university a little bit. Log in with SSO. You can now really find almost anything in the search bar. So once you get here in the search bar here, I'm typing in listing presentation. All right. So these are all the classes. And then down here are the videos. So look at this. Part 1, the lead up. Part 2, the marketing plan. Part 3, market positions. Part 4, the close. And this is with Kevin Mills, who is the top listing agent in the country. So he's like pretty good. And it's a video that you can watch, get inspired, and just do what they do. Say what they say. Okay? So now I'm just going to show you again the listing. Whenever I go and do a listing presentation, I start with, here's what's happened. So just like they said, walk in the front door, say the same thing every time, have them show you around, take notes. Let's sit at the table, let's talk about it. You sit at the table and you look at them and you say, you know what? I think I can sell your house. So you want to say something nice to start with. So you can come up with whatever you want, but you don't want to overpromise, okay? Because it sounds unbelievable. So you want to say something like, you know what? I think I can sell your house. And then say, before we get into your CMA and the market strategies that we have, I want to just tell you what's happening in Durham. Okay. And I would talk about what's happening in the town itself and maybe the state. So how do I pull those stats? So let me share with you some of the things that I do. So I have always loved Excel, and anybody can do this if you know Excel. But if you don't know Excel, don't try to do this because you don't want to learn another thing. Just ask me to do it for you. Okay, so this is every property that is sold in Durham in a 12-month time frame. So there were 61 properties. And at the bottom, I did all the averages over a 12-month time frame. And this is not what I would show them. I'm just giving you some examples of what I do. If I would show them this, I wouldn't say all of this, but I would say what's happening. So in the town of Durham, in the last 12 months, we had 61 sales. And the average sale price was somewhere on here. Average sale price. Where are you? 410. No.
That's
Wait a
the
minute.
assessed value, right?
I may not have put it here. So average sale price is, well, it's here. So average list price is 492,387. Average sale price 505,189. So I just did it from the Excel spreadsheet. Okay. The average days on the market 26.4. This is closed only. And the average square footage 2,028. Average rooms between 7 and 8. Baths between 3 and 4 or 3.5. Acres around 2.53 because it's a rural town. And assessed value average 207,922. And property tax average 7,356. If they don't know their assessed value, they definitely know what their taxes are. So when I share this with them, what do you think? I just want to let you know this is what's happening in town. And then the close price versus the assessed value is 235%. So let's say the assessed value was 100,000. We would multiply that by 235%. That's the ratio. Okay. And then here's the ratio of the average price per square footage. 230.02. So I've always done it this way. What do you think happens when you start telling them this is what's happening in Durham? They think you're giving them a CMA because in mind they're connecting the dots. Oh, I have 4,300 square feet, so that's at this price, and that's what happens. They stop looking at you. They stop wondering if you're the one that can sell their house, and they start thinking, oh, my house is probably worth, and they start comparing their house to what's happening in the town. But this is not the CMA. But it gets them, what happens? It gets them in your control. So they start like, okay, well, that makes sense. Okay, I just wanted to let you know before we start. Now, the other ways you can get good information like that, and you want to pick whatever you want. You don't want to do it all, is the MLS. So Florida and Connecticut have something that is the same. And I'm going to share it with you. It's called InfoSpark. So here's Connecticut's. This is where we find it. All right. And then I'm going to do Florida's. So to find Florida's, you go over here to menu, and then you scroll down to products, and you go to market stats. And that is InfoSparks. So it's the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to use the Connecticut ones, but you can do the same thing that we're about to do. So it's the same. So I will go, let's say my client, when did they buy their house? So let's say they bought their house in 2018. So I would want to show them since 2018 what has happened with the prices, right? So I can actually go here. I'm in InfoSparks, okay? So let me tell you what we're looking at. We have the entire MLS. We can add a town, a city, a county. We can look at single family only if we want here. We can see the average sale price, how many new listings, how many homes for sale, pending sales, closed sales, all of these things over time. So the most important thing I think people want to know is what is the average sale price since 2017 in Durham? So I am going to add an area. And over here on this little drop down, I can add Durham. Durham. There we go. Then I want single family only. All right, I'm going to get rid of the MLS and I'm going to add the county that Durham's in, which is Middlesex. So I'm going to say county and Middlesex. Oops. No, not you. Middlesex. M. Oh, there's only one. Okay. Middlesex County. And that's good. All price ranges, single family only. And now it's showing me in Middlesex County and there, and this is only the last 12 months. So prices are going up. We're at 525 as of April 2025 in Durham, and in 2022, so this is 3 years rather. 2022, we were at 405, 404, 726, 23, 444, 24, 457, and now we're here. Now I can change this to the last, oh, here we go, 10 years. Okay, so now we can see the last 10 years. And so that brings us all the way back to 2015 in Durham and the average price. So if they bought theirs in 2018, the average price was $323. Okay, and today it is $525. So that is 200,000 on average. That's pretty cool. Well, I wonder what the price per square foot was on average. All right, and we're going back 10 years. So it was 159. No, 140. It was 140. Today it is 241. So that's almost $100 per square foot difference. And you know, it's interesting. If we went back, we would see this is pretty flat all the way back to like 2000. So things in Connecticut haven't really changed a lot. Florida's probably going crazy. But that is, the interesting thing. And you can print this. So if you don't want to use an Excel spreadsheet, you can do that. The other thing you can do, and you can do this in both of them. And why are we doing this? We're doing this so that, let me just do Florida, add an area. Okay, Niceville. Okay. Well, we'll do single family only. And the last, ooh, they can go 15 years. We'll say 10 years. And we'll do average price. Look at how crazy that line is. Like they're having heart attacks one after another on this, where we're like, la 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 la, going up gradually. Okay, but so in 2015, Niceville's average price was 310, and today it is 598. And the entire MLS for that area is 791. So that's interesting. And then price per square foot, this is single family only, average. I like average. Okay. So right now, Niceville is 264 price per square foot. That's pretty close to what we are. And the entire MLS is 325. So, bringing something like this, before we start, let's look at what's happening on the Panhandle. And you can do something like that. Your house is however many square feet, single family. Let me think, what else? Percent of list price that you get. This is interesting. So over the last 10 years, the percent of list price, 98.8. That's good. What was it back here? 97. So you didn't go through the way over asking. Here's 1% over asking in 2022. Then it went way down. So yeah, it's interesting. This kind of thing helps you level set when you first sit down with them before you get into the marketing. So they've stopped judging you for the car you drive, how you pulled up, your accent, all that. Now they're interested. They like what you're saying. And then add in what makes you on this too. All right, so now we're going to, let's see, what time is 6:05. I guess we'll just go into it. So the other thing is, we have shown you before, you can do a search, the last 30 days, the last 90 days, this is what's happening right now. So you can give them some other things to talk about what's going on right now from the MLS that shows the average price per square footage, that kind of thing. And then we're going in to do a CMA. So how we do the CMA is in 21 Online, Moxie Present. Okay, so I'm signing in again.
Can we do it on MLS?
I don't do CMAs on MLS.
No. That's
No,
why I
because I
did mine.
want everything, and the MLS is horrible. Our MLS, it used to be good. It's terrible now. Have you ever done one?
Yeah, I just did one on MLS.
And
I
what
did too in the MLS too. And the first, no en Connect. And the other,
happened, Luz?
I say that I did too in the other MLS, no in Connect. I haven't done
Oh, okay.
anything in Connect.
So were you impressed with your CMA, Olga?
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine was okay. I mean, it came up with an average and, I mean, the mid and the recommended asking price. So I was okay with it.
Okay. Well, maybe you
And
can teach
and
us.
it showed the comps.
Yeah. So let's look at ours and see what you think. Have you ever seen the one that we do in Moxie?
No, no.
Okay, so let's do that and let's see what you think.
Okay.
Any questions before we move on? All right. So I'm in 21 online. I am going to Productivity Hub. And then I'm scrolling down to Moxie Present. And like I said, the marketing team can do this for you if you give them the MLS numbers. I did this earlier and I found that all the comparables showed up in Moxie Present. I usually go to the MLS first just to see what comparables are available to make sure I don't miss anything because Moxie has built-in filters. So I don't want to have, something across the street not show up for a crazy reason. But in this case, that's not the case. They all showed up. So once I have downloaded the Moxie Suite, I go back up here to present again. Excuse me. Who is guest? I have to take attendance. And who is iPhone? iPhone.
This is Lavasha.
Lavasha! Yay! I think iPhone is Pina. Okay, so here I am. I've done the same CMA like a bunch of times, so I'm gonna just
Oh,
show you.
I had a question, Jody. I'm sorry. So when do you show them all of the other documents? The service pledge and the types
I
of agency.
do it now. That's what this has. Everything's in it
Oh, with the CMA?
with the CMA. That's why I like
Oh,
this
okay.
because it has all of that and I can upload the things it doesn't have.
Oh,
Like
okay.
the pricing pyramid that I just showed you, I can upload
Mhm.
that. I
Okay.
can upload my bio. I can, I can upload anything that's a PDF and the marketing team can upload it for you. So when you're creating if you've already done a CMA, you can go in here and click on the pencil and, just make changes if you want. So I'm going to click create new. All right. And we are doing a seller CMA. Okay. And we hit continue. Now, this is the tricky part, Olga. You won't get the right template unless you click here on brokerage template and you select Century 21. So
Okay.
that's the key. Select the Century 21 templates. And then all the nice templates show up. So the one that I did before is this one. It's 36 pages. The Fine Homes in the States I could do for this house. It's only 16 pages. But I am going to stick with this one, the seller presentation. And here's the Spanish version, same thing. And this is 36 pages. Now, the Fine Homes in the States, you can also upload your own things. So I've selected the one I want and I hit continue. Okay, and the presentation name, I always put the address because I found that the marketing team, if I ask them to do it, and I'm guilty of this myself, I'm a little bit dyslexic and I might not spell their name right. So I just put in the address.
Jody, question.
Yes.
You know how that's 36 pages long? Is
Yes.
there a way, because this is the same one that I did, right?
Yes.
This is the one that I did. Is there a way to like not have all of those other pages and just do the, yeah? Because I know my people just scrolled right through the front, didn't even look at it and just went right to, they wanted to
Good.
see the comps and that was it.
Yeah. So you know what a lot of people do, Pina? You know how
Yeah.
we bound it? Sometimes
Yeah.
you can bind it into two separate ones.
And I think that's a better idea too.
Yeah.
If that or just not print the other ones out as well, because it was just a lot of, a lot of wasted ink, I thought, yeah.
Well, but sometimes, so the nice thing about it, well, I'll show you why I like
Yeah.
it. Because you're in competition. Whether we believe it or not, we're always in competition and we have more than anyone else. So why not do that? So I have the address, then I click create. And it takes a minute. Okay. Now in this property, let me just see where I put it. I have it right here. Okay, so this actually was listed. So because it was in the MLS, I can just put the old MLS number in here. And click copy. Otherwise, I would put the picture and everything else. So now everything shows up. Now, the only thing I have to change the taxes because these are the taxes from back then. So the taxes now are, I believe they're 1,600 or maybe 16,700. So they've gone down. Tax year is 2024. And this is the above ground square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, and lot size. Okay.
So if it hadn't been listed within like the last 6 years, do you have to go in and do that manually, or do you still go and use the listing
Yeah, a lot
information?
of times they haven't listed in a long time, and you would just add the information.
Mhm.
So what Moxie wants, it doesn't have an assessed value area, but it does have a tax area. And year
Okay.
built, tax year, beds, baths, above ground square footage, lot size. So all of those kind of things. And then you know, could put comments here. And now I'm going to change this. I'm just going to get rid of it. It's not letting me. Okay. All right, I'm getting rid of the sale price. I think I can get rid of the MLS number. Let's see. Other. Okay. So I want to get rid of stuff so it doesn't affect the comps. Okay, that looks good. And now continue. And it's downloading. So it's showing us where it is. And now we're just going to change the filters. And the reason is because in this neighborhood, not everything is the same size or lot size. And I don't know why, but sometimes it affects it. So that looks okay. Down here, we are looking at sold in the last 6 months. I'll go back a year. And then everything else looks good. I'll do coming soon. And all right. Then I'm
So
going
you're
to,
picking all of the categories?
I took out all of the filters. All right. And the reason is because nothing came up. So I know I could do instead, it's going to tell me what's closest. So probably this is a neighborhood that's, one street and pretty much, and surrounding streets are similar. So here's one that sold on Turkey Hill for $1,050,000. So sold price 975. Okay. Now around the corner is Powder Hill. So it's near there. I'm not going to use that one. But, I know based on which I didn't share with you, but in the MLS, actually I did share with you. So let me show you that spreadsheet again. One thing I like to use, if I can, oh, here it is. I like to use assessed value and price per square footage. So based on the assessed value of this property by sale price, so the average assessed value and the average sale price. So I just took the averages, divided it by each other. That came out to 235%, which would bring this house to 964,628. And then price per square footage would bring it to 989, 100,077. So I pretty much know that's probably about where it's going to land based on that. And so I'm looking for that price range here. Now, Durham is not a big town, so not a lot of things sell. So I know, I would still come up with that price range based on what I just showed you and share that with them too. And then I would probably look at price as a filter. So a maximum, I'm going to say, just so I can get them, 2 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, back one.
Yeah, 20 million.
And I'll say, first do I want any of these? Let me just look. All right, I'll say 800 and see what comes up. Okay. And apply. So, I usually do the research before I do this. Did it apply? Let me just make sure. Apply. There we go. All right, so only this came up, which I'll use. So I'm going to get rid of the price again and pick the ones that I like.
I'm trying to follow you, but I can't.
Well, I'm playing around with the filters.
Okay.
And I know the price range and I know these houses. So I'm picking the ones that are the most like it. There's not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all sold. So let's look if there's any 2020. This is very different. That's very. So there's not a lot here to choose from. So I have 3 and yeah, that's going to have to do it. And then I would just say what I think the price is.
Now, was 67R Turkey Hill Road the subject property?
Yes.
Okay,
No.
so you do
No, this
include
was
the
not. No, this was not the subject property.
okay, you don't include the subject property.
No.
Okay, yeah, that's what I do that. I don't include it. I want to make sure that I was doing
But
it.
I
Okay.
want it there so that everyone can see. Oh, here we go. No. All right, so now I hit continue. All right. And then it has a subject property and it has a low and the high. All right. And you know what is interesting? You can edit and adjust like you would if it was an appraisal. So I'm not going to do it now, but you can do it if you want to, if you learn how to do that. Do you know what I mean by that? So let's say this has 2.82 acres. This has 3, so that's similar. This is a 3-car garage. It doesn't say what the garage is on this. If I want to know more, I can just, well, I'd have to go back one and it shows me everything about it. So if I go back to the search here, it's not going to wreck anything. I just want to show you. This is fun to play around with. So on the Turkey Hill, I can go to details and see more about it, like you would the MLS. So then it shows you all the pictures and price per square footage, above ground finished area, remarks. And taxes. Where are the taxes? 18,000. So that's pretty high. So this, according to the taxes, would be less, but it's taken forever to download the pictures. So we're not going to look now. You'll see them in a minute. Okay, so now I'm going back to the next. I picked what I want to pick. Continue. And now I have the listings. It tells me the summary. You. And here is what the market came up with, which I would not use. So you can create a range or you can put one price. So usually I would create a range. I already know what I think the range is. Create range. All right. So I would say 900. And let's say 1%. No, I would do 900,000. Actually, 950 to 999. Okay, apply. So it can be whatever you want, and you can use whatever reason. And you can put your reasoning here in the remarks. Currently, Durham has 14 listings on the market. And I would just go into what's going on with the data there. Then continue. And now we have our CMA. So the first part of the CMA is all of the powerful why you would pick us. So, just keep this in mind. If you're working with friends and family, they may not want to have all the why you would pick Century 21, but they will read it. And it does make a difference in the price, who you list with. Now, the number one thing is you and your plan of action, which we're going to go over. But the second thing is your company you work for and the brand that you choose. So this tells you, good information about you and then the company you work for and Century 21. So a good idea is to print one of these out. And I actually sent you this. So you have this. Print it out and read it. And then if you don't like something, you can delete it. Just click remove. Maybe have 5 or 6 good pages in here, but You don't have to, I don't know if I would remove things because first I would share this digitally. This is what we're going to talk about when I come over. So how do I share it? I look here. We're in the web view. So I'm going to go up here and click view. And then you scroll, just hit your laptop tools to do the pages to start. And then this is those lines. This is everything about it. The top is the power of Century 21. We're the most recognized brand. There's no other brand that's better. All the reasons why. And then we go to the cover page of the CMA. Oops. And it's just taking time to download, which drives me crazy. I think I would delete the terms. Okay, so here's the house. Then the information about the house. I just made it smaller and then it went crazy. Property summary. Where the comparables are compared with the subject property. Gets into each one. And they can look at all the pictures when they click on it, and they will. So you're right, Pina, this is what they want to know the most about. So sending it to them in the web version is helpful, as long as you have some good data in here. Now, when you go and meet with them, whoops.
So you're saying sending it and then just printing out the important, send the
Yeah, and
whole
then
thing?
yeah, and then I would go with them to present the CMA, but I think I would give them both things.
Okay. I
You know.
did. Yeah, I did. They just disregarded that whole
I know.
crap. And I'm like, well, you could review all that. These are all the amazing things that we have
Well,
to
they've
offer
already
you.
picked you,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
but when you're not looking, they'll probably look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, and then it has, that's the stats that I have here. And where you would put this, all the information, I would put it here. If I was going to email them, I want them to know what's happening and I want them to know what has happened. So I would say, when you bought the house, the average price was, today the average price is. Then over the last 30 days, there's right now 11, I think there's 14 houses on the market in the town. In the last 30 days, how many went under contract? And I do that all the time. But it's really powerful to use real numbers. That's the net proceeds. Then your info, and then you're done. So let me just share with you what I mean by the numbers, because it's worth looking at. Okay. Here I am. Okay, so I'm going in. And I'm looking at Durham only for the last, what's happening right now. So as I log in as Jody, now I click search listing single family. I don't want condos. And okay, put in Durham. Okay, so I select Durham and it tells me there's 11 houses on the market. So what does that tell you? That's ridiculous. Okay, now I'm going to go to status and add under contract closed and under contract continue to show. And then I'm going to change this to, since there's so few, 90 days back. 90. Okay, and everything else I don't need 90. Oh, 90. Well, it doesn't matter. Okay. The main thing is closed only 90 days back. And there's 24 matches. So I click view results. And then where do I click to get the quick CMA? Anybody know?
Yeah, right here.
Right there?
Yeah,
So next to the car is quick CMA. When you hover over it, it shows you. So this tells me this is what I would put in that area. So this, and this is, there's only 10 active listings according to this. 10. Oops. Can you guys still see? My computer just went crazy. Okay. And the average price is $1,067,000 because these are the days on the market. And there is a farm here that we have listed actually on Wallingford Road for $1,999,000 and $2,800,000, but it's been on the market for 238 days. And it's gone under contract like 3 times. So that's the reason that it's so high. But if you look, most of these have been on the market a while. There's only 1, 2, 3 that have been under the market under 10 days. Everything else has probably gone under deposit. So it comes, it goes, it comes, it goes. So under contract continue to show are 2, under contract are 6. So 11 houses are on the market, but 8 went under contract in the last 90 days. And then we can see the average price there. And then we go down to closed. And there's only 5 that have sold in the last 90 days. And the average list price was $474, sale price $484, and that is 5% over asking. List to sale price ratio. So I would put all of that in the comments, so they know that I know what I'm talking about, because I'm emailing it to them without the other data that I was telling you about.
when I did my CMA, I just did the closed. I didn't do
Well, that's
active.
because there are hardly any actives, but I would do, if there are any, I want to use them because I want to position the subject property against the competition.
Okay.
All right. So what do you guys think?
I need help. So can you help me tomorrow redo my CMA?
Do you
'Cause I'm
like
visiting with
this?
him on Wednesday.
Oh, sure. So let me ask you, do you like this one better?
Yeah, because I'm smaller. There isn't a lot of papers in there.
Okay. So now we think about the presentation. So now think about how you're going to present this data to your client. And that's the listing presentation. Okay, so track your numbers. Make sure you're writing those handwritten notes. We will meet again next week. And still try to get, your geofarms, knock on doors, make calls, contacts, any way you want, direct message, social media, anything like that. And we are good. Okay.
So can I call you tomorrow?
Yeah, so I have somebody coming in at 10 that I'm actually going to be helping here, and I start coaching calls at 11:30.
You start what? I'm sorry.
Coaching calls with you guys. Okay.
So when
So
are you?
we'll have to figure it out,
Okay,
Olga.
let me know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming. So does anybody want to give a presentation?
Yeah, I'd like to try.